friends, welcome back to my Flosstube. My name is Sarah and this is my channel, The Rocking Chair Stitcher. This is episode 16 of my Flosstube channel. This is the 20-something of December, 27th of December, 2024. So we are just about done with the year and headed into 2025. So it was a goal to try to get a Flosstube done before the new year, as I have not been on here since September when I had my 1-year Flosstube anniversary. So I will just give you a little life update, and then you can probably see in the corner here a little bit of a pile here. I have so much I've been stitching on, some new patterns I'm excited to share with you that I've made. Plenty of haul. I don't know if I'll get through all the haul just because yeah, I don't want to make the whole video super long, but anyway, I am in my bedroom. We have our Christmas tree in our room and there are stockings hung on the dresser and behind it, as our house is still in renovation mode, so we just embraced it and went with it, and so we get the nice cozy vibe up in our bedroom, which is kind of fun. So the last 3 months have been busy, to say the least. Justin and I have gotten sick a lot, and it just seems to be the season for that. So we are on the up and up now, which is really nice. He's basically quit his naps and only naps on occasion and doesn't nap on a schedule, and so naps were when I would really sneak in a chance to film. So I'm having a hard time finding space to film my Flosstubes, but I'm really hoping to get back to being regular because I miss you guys. I miss talking with you in the comments. I miss filming and showing what I'm working on. I have been a little bit watching Flosstube when I can and can slip it in there. It's been, I don't want to say survival mode. Like, there's definitely been parts of this last 3 months have been survival mode, but there's been a lot of good not survival mode time too, but just, yeah, not the same kind of focused time to be able to stitch as much as I would like sometimes, and then not as much focused time to film. But I'm hoping as we're headed into winter that will be a little bit different. But we're all doing well. We just finished celebrating Christmas, and I am ready for the clean, fresh start of January. And we'll continue on with our normal appointments and all that kind of stuff. We've been running, Justin and I travel an hour and a half now each way once a week to go for a new kind of physio and occupational therapy. And it has been an amazing change in different things that Justin needed physically and behavior. So it's just been an awesome resource. So I know my channel's not huge or anything, but there might be somebody watching who has a kiddo who has sensory needs, physical movement needs, that kind of thing. So if you have any questions, I would love to share about this kind of physio and occupational therapy. It's a bit different than like the traditional kind. So it makes it a little bit limited where you can find it, but there are options. But anyway, I've become really passionate the last couple of months after seeing the changes in our son. I want other parents to know about it for their kids. So anyway, if you want to talk about it, just message me on Instagram, because I would absolutely love to share. But anyway, I thought I would just jump right into what you're here for, cross stitch. So we're going to do a giveaway last time, and it has been 3 months, but I did not forget. I have a little video clip I'm going to insert here. So congratulations to Andrea Dixon. I'm just looking at my notes here. Andrea Dixon 3208. So Andrea, please send me a message on Instagram, The Rocking Chair Stitcher, or you can email me at therockingchairstitcher@gmail.com, and I would love to send you whichever one of the patterns from my Etsy shop that you would like as a thank you for participating in the giveaway. So that has been something I've been really excited to do. So it's fun to actually finally get to announce who won that. So I have several new patterns that I'm excited to share with you guys. So I'm just gonna have to do a little bit of reaching because I'm up in my room. I tried filming down in what's gonna be eventually the new kitchen. It's just gutted right now. But the light, because it's nighttime, the light is so yellow down there and there's no natural light coming in, and it was like Oh, I couldn't do it. So I'm sitting here in the bright light of, well, the glow of the Christmas tree. And then I got a Bright Tech magnifier light, which I will talk about more later, my thoughts on it. But so the light's helping here. So anyway, my new patterns that I want to share with you are, there's 2 in my hem series. So if you follow me on Instagram, I always post on there when I have a new pattern and a link where you can get it in my profile and all that. But in case you don't know me on Instagram, I have a couple new patterns. Tune My Heart is my first one I want to show you. So I did it as well over a year ago. And so Tune My Heart, the glare is going to be. So this is from the hymn, Tune My Heart to Sing Thy Grace. And honestly, for the longest time, I thought this song lyric said, "Tune my heart to sing his praise." So I was actually surprised to see that. And I think that's kind of what spurred me on when I realized it was to sing thy grace. So I did this one. This is actually the same frame that I used to frame it as well. So I just swapped them out. So when I shared about this one, I don't usually share much of my cross stitch on my private Instagram, like for family and friends, but I did share this one, and a friend saw it and asked me if I stitch and sell my stitching, and I told her not usually, and I said, but I'd be happy to stitch you something. And so she wanted Be Still My Soul. So my third and probably final, unless I get inspired by another hymn pattern in my little hymn series, is Be Still My Soul, which I don't have to show you, but I will put it on the screen here. So this has already been gifted to my friend who inspired the design. So those are both in my Etsy shop. So those were really fun to create. I love the lace trim kind of look. So each lace trim is a little bit different. And then of course the hem is different, but it's the same similar font for the lettering. So there probably will be more in that little series eventually, but there's 3 for now. So the other ones I have my notes from when I tried to film on December 2nd. I filmed like 45 minutes and then I went to double check that the last thing I had shown you guys was in focus, and then I realized like it had stopped recording and I don't even know how far back. And then Justin needed me, and then someone video called me right in the middle of when I filmed. I was like, okay. So December 2nd was when I was supposed to. Oh, hi kitty. This is Caspian. Say hi. So I tried to film on December 2nd. Did not happen. So I've got half a battery I can see on the screen here. So we'll see what happens. And I also have my screen here now so I can see the red light. So I'm trying to look here, but I keep looking there. So sorry guys. I know you guys are going to be looking at your stitching anyway, so it's not a big deal. Okay, so another pattern that I have, my fully finished and FFOs, not FFO, whips and all that kind of stuff are a little bit convoluted because it all kind of meshes into my new patterns and all that. But anyway, I'm just going to show it to you and we'll talk about it. So the next one I have is a little monster truck ornament. So if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I finished almost all of my ornaments like this, with this fringed little pillow look. We had these when I was a little girl on the Christmas tree, like with this fringe look, and I absolutely love them. So anyway, this is a gift for a little guy in my life who absolutely loves monster trucks. So that will be going to them very soon for a Christmas gift. So I just chose the number 7. I looked at some images of monster trucks online and kind of tried to draw the shape or whatever. So this pattern will be up in my Etsy shop if you want to stitch a little monster truck for somebody in your life. So that one was fun. And I just did the colors. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus here. Oh, let's see. Right, there we go. So the colors here are the same colors that's in the pattern, and I just braided it together. Just like a really tight, like little friendship. It's not perfect, but I thought that was fun for the little hanger. So, yeah. Number 7 monster truck. Okay, so then, where am I going to put my finished stuff? I'll put it here. So then now I'm out of focus. I had a bunch of different babies born this this fall and winter, like into the Christmas season. So I decided to design a little My First Christmas ornament. So I stitched in pink, and then I took a couple of custom orders if people wanted to order already stitched ornaments as a gift or for their own little one. So I stitched this also in a darker pink, and then I also stitched it in a blue. So I have one more to stitch. Our postal system has been down, was down for like a month with the strike, and so I had a couple orders and I let them know that the postal system was down, nothing was going to be there in time for Christmas. Did they still want their order? And they said, yes, please. So I have one more to stitch and put in the mail next week. The postal system came up right before Christmas. So yeah, so that was fun to do. So I sold a couple ornaments, and so this one was simple enough that it didn't bother me to stitch it over and over again. I think each one took me like an hour maybe at the most. That's probably with distractions. So anyway, My First Christmas. It is, what's the word I'm looking for? It is customized with 2024 on it. So you could easily just change the 4 to a 5. And I will update the pattern going into 2025 if anyone wants to use it for the future year. So the next one that I put out, I am so tickled with. I was on Pinterest, as one does, and just, you know, distractedly scrolling, and I don't know if I was on there for any actual purpose. But anyway, I saw this quote and I just stopped and I was like, oh my goodness, that is like really sweet. If that's not a Valentine or a love quote, like, I don't know what is. And I love that you can make something like a Valentine, but not just necessarily for your partner, your spouse, whatever. Like a Valentine, like I've received a Valentine from a sister, and lots of girlfriends and I have exchanged Valentines. Like, it's just fun to make it as an excuse to give something to show somebody you care and love about them. So I feel like this quote for me does apply very much so to my husband and to my son. But I feel like it could very broadly apply to a parent, a friend, a sibling, your spouse, your kid, whatever. So anyway, it says, if I know what love is, it is because of you. And I researched this guy, and he was a German poet in the 1890s. And I just thought it was lovely. So I wanted to get out of my comfort box a little bit. So most of my patterns, if you've ever looked at them, are heavily symmetrical. That's how my brain thinks. Something about it I love. I love symmetry. And another pattern I'll show you in a minute. You'll see it. But I wanted to just kind of get a little bit not symmetrical with it. So I'll show you here. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I chose to do things like not continue the inner border all the way around. I made it dotted instead of solid like over here. Changed up things like that. Usually I would have like mirrored motifs that they're all the same. But I chose to just kind of go rogue. So there's some little kind of Quaker style motifs there. And down here is my favorite part. This is my husband and I's first initials, because I did design this pattern with him in mind. So the pattern does come with a simple alphabet that's separate from this alphabet, which I tried to make as most like a typewriter font as possible. But these little letters here are in their own separate little alphabet, so you can customize it with whatever letters you want to put in there. I gotta put this, there we go, back in focus. So anyway, what love is, and it's by Hermann Hesse, I'm not sure. Maybe it's Hesse. If you know how to pronounce this name, tell me in the comments. Anyway, this might be my favorite pattern that I've designed so far. I'm very tickled with it. I'm finding that I just absolutely love designing in monochromatic too. So it's becoming a theme. So, okay, my last but not least pattern that I designed, I just finished designing and stitching it last week. So in the back of my head, for the longest time, I've wanted to design a pattern that is just backstitch. And I will admit, this is not just backstitch. I think there's a total of, actually, you know what? 2 cross stitches in this. I think 2 cross stitches in this. Anyway, which could be counted as backstitch because of where they're at. Anyway, I'm going to call it full backstitch. So anyway, I saw a while back, I think it was Stitching Mommy, was stitching some pattern that was completely all backstitch. It was huge. And I saw it and I was like, I absolutely love backstitch. But I prefer backstitch that's not over top of cross stitching. Like I like the stitches, the backstitching I have to do when it's outside of it, like on vines or whatever. So I was like, what if my whole pattern was backstitch? It wouldn't have to go over any cross stitch. So anyway, this is Winter Symmetry, loosely inspired by snowflakes. So let's see. Okay, we're definitely got to get this in focus. There we go. So I will say it was a bigger challenge than I expected to design. It took a lot more time, but it was a fun challenge, something different. And as I designed each block, it gave me, I had trials of ones that didn't quite mesh with the look I was going for. And so I still just like dragged that part of the design off to the side and I saved all those on another design template. So I will be using those in future ones when I tweak them. So something fun, let's see if I can get this a little better in focus up close because I want to show you, I'm really excited about this. So something to me that I wanted to do was I wanted to puzzle piece or nest the blocks into each other. So that was part of my inspiration as I was kind of working on it. So you hear my bed creak as I'm trying to move and show you. So right here, I don't know if you'll see, so each of these match. So these two match, these two match. So whatever their kitty corner, do you say kitty corner or catty corner? Because growing up, we said, what did we say? Catty, I think we said catty corner. And then I came to Canada and you guys say kitty corner. Or it was the opposite. I can't remember. Anyway, I had a good laugh about that when I first used that phrase in Canada. And somebody told me, they're like, what are you talking about? Anyway, so these guys that are kitty corner to each other, they match. But the fun thing, are we focusing? Ooh. Guys, it's like 8:30 at night, so you're getting whatever you're getting. See how these guys pop out of the mold of the square they're in, and these guys have the indent here. So they essentially, each square nestles into the other one. So like the bottom square here nestles up into that one in that little divot. So I wanted it to look like kind of puzzle pieces, like even this one here, which I chose not to have a frame around each one. That one still protrudes into the line that would then push into that one. So I just wanted to kind of look like it was just about to come together as a puzzle piece. So anyway, I named them Winter Symmetry because it is perfectly symmetrical. And as I'm looking at this pattern, I am noticing that this right here creates a circle with a snowflake in the middle of it. Just in this square. I did not notice that when I designed it. Oh, that's kind of fun, guys. There you go. So anyway, I am planning on finishing this as a small little pillow. And my plan will be to have this one, Winter Symmetry. And I'm hoping to do a Spring Symmetry, and a Summer Symmetry, and a Fall Symmetry. So you can have one for each season. So anyway, this will be up in my shop on January 1st as a new year, new start. If you love backstitching or if you want to try a new adventure. I frogged a lot more of this than I expected to. Multiple times, but I'm gonna blame the TV show Survivor. It's not really their fault, it's all mine. So the TV show Survivor, you can binge watch on Prime, and I started watching it one of the weeks when I was like really sick, and haven't stopped. So I am watching the current season, and then I'm also watching an older season. And if you don't like those kind of shows, then I totally get it. Josh could care less about that kind of show. But if you like those kind of shows, man, they can suck you in. So anyway, I have the season finale to go watch after I finish filming this, of the current season. So don't tell me. Of course, by the time this comes on my YouTube channel, because I think I'm going to put it up in the morning, just because it's getting late. I should have gotten a chance to watch it tonight. So go ahead, gossip about it in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts on whoever won. Okay, so anyway, that is, can't get it in focus, but that's Winter Symmetry. It'll be in my Etsy shop on January 1st. Okay, so that is all of my new patterns. So I haven't been on Flosstube, but I have gotten, I'm realizing now, more stitching in than I thought I had. I didn't really think I had stitched all that much in the last 3 months, but I was wrong. So now I want to show you my finishes for now. I have no plans right now of how I'm going to finish the first one I'm going to show you. But I am sending it, now that the post office is back open again, it is actually going in the mail to someone as a gift. But they don't know who they are, so they won't know until they get it. So this is my first ever Mill Hill kit. And I loved it. The only thing I changed is I did not do the outlining stitching, like the back stitching, after just telling you how much I love backstitch. The back stitching on the Mill Hill, not on the Mill Hill, on the smoke coming out of it. I just didn't love it, so I just skipped it. But if you've ever done a Mill Hill, you know about the beading. I've never done beading before and loved the beading. So this one was a lot of fun. Gosh, I was shocked by how much time it took me. I think it took me like 6 or 8 hours though. Like that really surprised me, like how much time this tiny thing could. So it's on perforated paper. That was my first time ever working with perforated paper as well. I was in a store called Mary Maxim today, which is like heavily a yarn store. I thought it would have a lot more cross stitch, but it had a fair bit of cross stitch, but nowhere near as much as I had kind of gone in thinking it would. But no Mill Hill kits. I was hoping to find another Mill Hill, so I may be ordering a Mill Hill kit. I'm still planning on getting to Stitch Central or Stitch Central, I can't remember, in London at some point this winter, and maybe they have Mill Hill kits. So if you know, let me know. I know the Stitching Owl lives near there, and we've chatted a bit about that. So I don't know if you know if they've got them there. I'm assuming they probably would, but I don't know. Anyway, so I really enjoyed doing that one. I am at a loss with it being perforated paper exactly how to finish it. I thought about just gluing some felt on the back, but I wasn't sure how that would affect the paper or my stitches. So if you have done a Mill Hill kit or perforated paper, let me know how you would finish this. I want to finish it as an ornament, but I don't know how to back it, if that makes sense. So let me know what you would do. So that is my finish for now. So we left behind some really beautiful people in Nova Scotia, some really good friends, and there was a crew of us that would get together a lot for holidays, because some of us had no family in the area or family who couldn't get to us, like during COVID, and restrictions were really tight, and you literally, like, it was just, you couldn't see almost anyone. And so we got a bunch of us, or small group of us, I guess I should say, got really, really tight, and we spent birthdays together and holidays together, and it was really, really hard saying goodbye. But we keep in touch, and we have a group chat and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I had this bright idea that I was going to stitch all of them, like each family and individual in the group, their own ornament, but the exact same ornament, and I would just stitch it multiple times. Well, my brain started definitely getting bored, and it's a great pattern. So this is the pattern Joy to the World by Alison, who is a new creation studio, and I love her pattern. She has some really, really sweet nativity ones, and I've got a couple saved that are like bigger ones. Like I would like to do a bigger nativity one for us. We don't really put out a nativity scene every Christmas. I don't know if we ever did actually. Now we have like a Fisher-Price plastic one for our son. But that by the end of the Christmas season, baby Jesus is in the kitchen sink and the camel's somewhere under the couch, and it just travels all throughout the house because he plays with it, right? So I think it would be really nice to stitch a nativity scene that I could frame or do on like the flat fold thing and put it on the mantle or whatever that comes out every Christmas. I don't know if I'll ever be a person who has like the whole nativity set with all the pieces. I don't know. Anyway, this is Joy to the World. I managed to stitch 3 of them. So I ended up finding a like customized ornament at a craft show that I went to. Sip my water here. Sorry. So I went to a craft show here locally, and there was some really fun stuff, and I found a very custom ornament for her, and I thought, okay, you know what? That ornament fits her quite well, and I don't want to stitch this ornament one more time. So, and she won't mind. So anyway, I have stitched Joy to the World. I'm gonna get this in focus here. You know what? I'm gonna make this my thumbnail, so I'm gonna smile. I always feel so silly trying to pose for a thumbnail, but I always forget to do it. So if I freeze, then I don't have to go try and remember to take a picture later. So there you go, guys. Anyway, if you do Flosstube, you already know. So this is Baby Jesus. Baby Jesus. I don't know why this one's bigger. I haven't cut it down yet. Baby Jesus. So I am slightly frozen on how I want to finish them. I have the option to do my little tassel pillow I always do, because this fabric I have left enough to do the edges. But I think I actually want to sew a back on them, like finish it as a little pillow and then just a little hanging cord. I want to try to get them in the mail in the next week or so. I already warned them the little Christmas package is coming late, whatever. At least I think I did. I might need to send her a message. Anyway, but they live in Canada too, so they know that the postal system is... I can blame everything on that right now. Late Christmas presents is because of the post. Anyway, so I think what I'm actually going to do is go through my Anastasia fabric, which I did get all washed because it had been in storage for quite some time. I got it all washed, I got it all folded, and semi-organized by color, like a box of reds and oranges, a box of whatever. There's the most of reds and oranges. I think that was definitely her tones she went with. Anyway, I think I'm going to go through that and see if I can't find something that would work for the backs of these. But I just think it is the sweetest pattern. So if you haven't already, check out Alison's store, A New Creation Studio. She has some other stuff that's not just Christmas. And I've talked about some of her other patterns. I have a whip that is My Soul Finds Rest in God Alone. And then I have one for Easter. I've never started, but I bought the pattern, which is, I believe it says I Know My Redeemer Lives. Or something close along those lines, and it's like the Easter cross with the purple sash and that kind of thing. I would totally suggest checking out her shop. She's really sweet to talk to on Instagram. She's just a delight. So anyway, those have been, the first one was fun to stitch. The others were fun seeing them come about because I like the pattern, I like the design. But I think I'm just learning about myself. I don't want to really stitch the same thing over and over again. So trying to keep this in focus is okay. So those are, I think, oh, I have one more finish to show you. Okay, sorry, a little pause there. So this is a requested an embroidery pattern that they asked me to stitch, like they wanted me to hire me to stitch it. And so anyway, I said, sure, yeah, no problem. I found the pattern on Etsy and I reached out to them, and their pattern was just for personal use. So what I told the person who had asked to hire me, I was like, you know what, if you just want to buy the supplies to make it, then I will just stitch it for you, because it'll be fun, kind of a switch up from my normal cross stitch. So they just paid for the supplies to like the pattern and the I had fabric on hand and the floss. So they paid for the pattern, and I needed like transfer iron-on or whatever, not iron-on. Story. I cannot even get my facts straight. It's like this iron-on, not iron-on. This transfer paper. It's adhesive, and you put it on after you've printed your pattern onto it. And then you what did I do? Did then you iron it? Oh no. I promise I did it. Excuse me. So you get your pattern, and then you download it and print it onto this transfer paper. And then you take the transfer paper, cut out around the design, and then take out the sticky part, put it on your fabric, and then stitch right on it as if it's like waste canvas, but it's different. And then you stitch it, and then you put it into water, and it dissolves. That is how it works. I could not remember the steps. Can you tell it's been a month since I did it? Anyway, so I chatted with the ladies on Etsy, told me it was personal pattern, all that. And so it was all fine. It was nice to talk with them. She was really sweet. So I wanted to tell you about their shop. Sounds like it's a set of moms, and they eventually want to offer their patterns already stitched to sell the finished product. So that's why they only offer personal use pattern. And I was like, I can respect that. Okay, and it should have the name of the shop on here. If I don't see it right here on this paper, I will definitely put it in the description, because I think their patterns are really sweet. And if you do any embroidery, you really might enjoy doing this. Yeah, okay. I do not seem to have the link on any of this. Is just all the instructions. But what I will tell you is I've got 4 pages of instructions here, and like I'm just going to fold it here so you can't really see, like a numbered guide. Like that was something I really liked about this pattern that I hadn't seen before in embroidery. It was like they numbered it, like number 2 is this kind of stitch with these colors. And I thought that was really well organized. So if you're looking for an embroidery pattern, I would definitely recommend their shop. I don't think there was a ton, but the ones they have were really cute. So anyway, here is the pattern. I'm going to hold it up, book behind it to help kind of not get backlit. So this is Tune My Heart to Sing Thy Grace, which I thought was very fitting because the pattern I showed you earlier that I had just finished stitching, like with a week maybe in the difference. And this person would not have come across my cross stitch pattern or anything. They sent me this one and said, can you stitch it? So I thought it was just really darling, like really, really cute. This flower was new for me for stitching this kind of embroidery. Maybe. Are you gonna get it in focus? Yeah, this big one here. But it was a lot of fun. So the instructions really well written. I think I was missing one of the colors and just subbed with something I had. But yeah, that one was a lot of fun to do and a nice switch up. So I will occasionally do an embroidery just for fun. But yeah, I would love to know in the comments, because I was thinking about this and just thinking like, I almost solely cross stitch now, and did for almost, well, honestly until last Christmas. Like probably I hadn't embroidered in a couple years, and I picked up cross stitch like full time July of last year. And but then at Christmas I received a little embroidery kit for one that said blessed, and it had some pretty flowers, and I did it in like 3 or 4 hours on Christmas night or Christmas Eve, or I don't remember, somewhere right, Boxing Day maybe. And I was like, oh, I forgot I do enjoy this. Now I still prefer cross stitch far more, simply because I find embroidery is too outside the box, out of the bounds. You can really go rogue with it. You kind of have to get more creative sometimes with certain parts of it, versus my brain really likes the in, out, crossover, all of that. For just cross stitching, I just almost can become mindless. Not when you have to count. I've started a new lady in the field of flowers, and poof, can't be mindless on that. But anyway, so this one was really fun to do. And I think I did it in 3 or 4 sessions just because my stitching time is a little more chopped up now. But really enjoyed that. So I am going to iron this, and we're going to frame it in a hoop, and that will go in the mail to her now that the mail system is back up. So that was fun to do. Okay. The next one I am working on is a new start. I'm going to put, once I finish stitching it, I'm going to put the pattern out probably next December as a freebie. But if you really want to get stitching for Christmas for 2025, if you're not sick of it by now, message me if you want the freebie now, and I would be glad to give it to you. There's a little boy in my life who absolutely loves the cartoon number blocks. And it's, if you're not familiar, it's like these little characters that are like little blocks, like 8 by 8 or whatever, little blocks that create numbers. So there's the number 1, he's one little red block, and then there's number 2, and he's yellow or whatever, and he's 2 of that same size red block, but 2 of them. And so then you've got 1 through 10 or whatever, but then in the cartoon they go on adventures and stuff, but they problem solve. So like if they need a bridge, and they, you know, the number 10 can't lay down and be the big enough bridge for all the other number blocks, then 10 and 1 will combine and make 11, and they've got a bridge long enough. And it sounds so silly, but it's such a good little cartoon for teaching basic math concepts. The math concepts are way over Justin's head, but he absolutely loves watching it. So anyway, this is a gift for someone else, but their little guy enjoys it. And so you can't tell what it is. This is my progress. And most of it happened this afternoon when we were on the phone call with a family member just chatting, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll stitch a little bit. So this is the start. There's gonna be a little mouth right there. So he's gonna be a green block. Anyway, I will put the pattern up here on the screen so you can see what it is. And again, this one's gonna be a little freebie that I'll put out next Christmas as an ornament. So if you're starting your Christmas stitching early, let me know and you can have it. I'll email it to you. So I'm pretty sure these characters are copyright. So I definitely don't want to play around with copyright issues or anything, or rip off anybody's artwork. So I just like looked at a bunch of images of those characters and drew them. So they're not exact either, but I just wanted him to be able to recognize when he saw the ornament that, oh, this is like one of the number blocks characters or whatever. 20. That one, I've already frogged twice and then still have made a mistake on. So lately I'm finding my focus, like maybe it's just because life's been so busy and there's been a lot of stuff going on, like my focus is just not so great. So I'm frogging a lot more lately. I need a focus button to hit refocus, but okay. So the next one I have is it is, I love the pattern. The pattern is simple and it's to the point, and that's what I wanted, but I wish I had done 1/1 so it was smaller. It's the only thing I'm realizing because it's gonna be huge. So sweet friends of ours adopted not long before us, a couple of years ago, and they've just adopted again and brought home their sweet little child. And they orchestrated and helped organize a adoption shower for us when we brought Justin home. And on the cake said, "For this child we prayed," which is a scripture verse, and I believe it's Samuel, 1 Samuel, I think, maybe 2 Samuel. Anyway, so when she messaged me and she's like, "We're bringing them home," I was just, you know, just lost it. Yeah, I could still cry. If you've been in the infertility journey, or, I mean, their story is different than ours, but if you've been in the adoption journey, in the journey to wanting a child, and it hasn't come as smoothly or as easily for you as for some others, and then when you actually get to experience that, seeing somebody else, sorry about that itchy nose, seeing somebody else get to experience it it's nothing like it, because you know the gift it is. Anyway, so this is, "For this child we prayed," and this is just the start. So I will pop a photo here of what it's gonna look like, and once I finish it and make sure the pattern doesn't have any mistakes in it, then it will be up in my Etsy shop as well. So this one, I designed it and started stitching it and did all of that in one night. I was like, the night she messaged me, I was just so excited. So, and then got distracted and honestly forgot about it for the last month. So I need to get back on it. But my plan will be to have that framed and mailed to her sometime next year. I don't think it's a super big rush, but yeah, so that is a fun celebration stitch. That is really sweet. On the note of, now my eyes all itchy. On the note of adoption, I had mentioned a while back that I wanted to do a birth sampler for Justin. Showed you guys one with this star whale. I don't know where I sat it down. It might be in the car, because it's kind of my go with me stitch. So anyway, it is progressing along. You can start to see the whale now. So I'm excited for that one. And I actually, do you ever have this thing, if you go thrifting, do you ever have this thing where you find already stitched things and you just stand there and go, I cannot leave this work that somebody spent so many hours stitching at a thrift store. And then it kind of breaks your heart that it's only like $3. Anyway, so sometimes I take it home, sometimes I leave it. Like I saw a bunch today at a little thrift store I was in, or like boutique-y kind of store. And they were more not, I mean, you put in like dozens and dozens of hours into your stitching, right? So they were still priced at like $30, $40, $50 a piece. But I feel like that's a better price that they could be priced at versus like $3. But I mean, ultimately, it's, you know, still when your stitching's in a thrift store, it just kind of breaks my heart a little bit. But anyway, so I call it seeing stitching in the wild, and sometimes I can't help but buy it. So this is delving into haul, but since I'm talking about the birth sampler for Justin's room, which is the underwater theme, like we have a rug for him that has a whale and all this stuff. When I saw this, and it's a family of 3 seahorses, I was like, this has to come home with me. This has to come home with me. So I think this was $1 at my local Salvation Army thrift store. And I thought, okay, we just got him a whale carpet. We got for Christmas, we got him fish decals to go on the wall. So I was like, okay, yeah, this needs to come home with us. So it is a little bit not in frame. Like the frame I think is actually too big. Yeah, because I took the back off and looked at it, and it did, like, there's no more fabric, like it is too short. So I think I also, yeah, I'm trying to remember what my plan was. I think I'm going to take it out of this and I'll use this frame for another cross stitch, like no problem, I'll fill it. But I also think because this fabric is so light that it kind of just blends too much in with the color of the frame. So I think my plan will be to look at other frame options that are a little darker. I have yet to send anything away to like a professional framer. It's pricey. I find that I can find frames at the dollar store or thrifting for a tiny fraction of the price. So for instance, this little frame here, if you live in Canada, heads up, because I've actually quite impressed with this little frame. I know I already showed you this pattern earlier, but this frame has like the plastic outside, but then like a fake wood. So none of it is real wood, like, so it's not that kind of quality. This was $2.50 at Dollarama. So if you're in Canada and have a Dollarama, for smalls that you want framed instead of making it into a pillow, I think this is pretty fair quality, especially for $2.50. And there's other colors too. I wanted the fairer color so this darker fabric would show up, but I'm pretty impressed for $2.50. So anyway, I think there are other alternatives if you like things framed over just turning them into pillows. Like I like the little pillows, but I only have space for so many at a time. So anyway, I'm probably going to hunt at the thrift store and the Dollarama and see if I see anything in between those two options to put this guy in, because I think it'll be really fun for his room and somebody's stitching will not be tossed out. It'll get loved and it'll very much go on theme with his underwater theme. Okay, little pauses. My toddler is supposed to be going to sleep, but he's not. If anybody has a Yodo player for their kid or grandkid, that is like this little audiobook player with these little cards and stuff, but the nice thing about it is I can control it from my phone. So his last audiobook, they're like little kids stories or whatever, his last audiobook finished, because he falls asleep to an audiobook every night, or multiple, because they're like short stories. So anyway, I just got one restarted about farm animals, so we'll see if that one keeps him happy. Anyway, so when I was sick, my brain was like mush. My hands ached. I got some kind of flu, so did Justin, and we got it in our chest, and it was yucky. But at some point when I was still in bed, I was finally able to like kind of clench my hands, and that's going to sound kind of weird because it wasn't just from the flu. I had been like using a tag punch, like gift tag punch, punching out floss drops for a good hour straight, and this part of my hand couldn't like hardly clench. Like I couldn't, like, yeah, it was so stiff after that, because I punched a ton of those tags. Anyway, so that combined with like the aches of a flu, I did not feel like stitching for several days. But once that kind of once I moved past that, then I wanted something really small, really simple, really easy to hold. And so I had found this little kit at the thrift store, and my packaging says, I looked at it earlier. Well, okay, this is interesting. It says English Heritage on it, $5.50p, like the pound symbol. But this is here in Canada that I got it. I saw it on here earlier. Maybe it fell off. I think it said $1 on it, and then I think I hit that thrift store when there was like a half off sale. Anyway, it had Pride and Prejudice vibes to me. It's called Classical Garden Bookmark Kit by English Heritage, counted cross stitch design. So it came with everything, like the like satin ribbon kind of backing and a tassel and all that. And it came with, this is my huge start you can see here. But it came with the bookmark ribbon. So this is the little start I got, which is just the very bottom, you'll see, of the pattern below the gate. So it reminds me of that scene in the modern Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley, where they're at this kind of columned building outside and it's pouring rain. And it's the first scene when Darcy confesses his love to Elizabeth, and she's all mad at him because of all the misunderstandings and the issues they have that they haven't figured out yet. Anyway, it kind of like, this reminds me of that like outdoor columned pavilion kind of thing. But it just like, it was small, simple. So tiny start. I was sick. I stitched it a little bit and then put it down after that and then forgot about it. So I'm looking forward to finishing it because I think it will be fun to put in a copy of Pride and Prejudice, which I don't think I have a physical copy of because it's open source, so I always just read it or listen to it online. I recently reread it audiobook style this fall sometime, like September maybe, and I forgot how much I enjoyed that book. There's so much good humor in it. Like, it's a great book. So if you've never listened or read Pride and Prejudice, I would highly recommend it. Jane Eyre is also another favorite, but it is a lot more, I found, at least dense, and I first read it when I was 9 or 10, so I found that was a very hard book to follow. And I actually don't know if I've ever reread it as an adult. I feel like I attempted one time, but it was during Bible college when I had like 5,000 other things I had to read. So anyway, I probably should just try giving Jane Eyre another reread. So I would love to hear if you've read any of those classics, which one's your favorites? And if you found Jane Eyre is a little bit hard to get through. But Jane Eyre is such a beautiful story though. So there's a lot of versions of that movie that are a lot of fun to watch too if you can't get through the book. Okay, anyway, I ramble. I have 2 whips that I want to show you. This is a flower birth sampler I've been working on. Do I have it right side up? No, I did not. Well, which way did it go? Yeah, this is the top. So last time I showed it to you, I think I only had, let's see if my book here can help hold it up. There we go. I think I only had from here to maybe here, or it was, I hadn't gone quite all the way over. Anyway, so the pattern repeats all the way around. So I think I'm getting close to 3/4. I just have a little bit more to go there of the outside. And then I need to put the baby's information here. This is a gift. I'm gonna get it in focus here up close because it is really stunning, the detail of the flowers and stuff. What I will say is I love the way this looks. I am not a fan of stitching it. And I think I've said it before. It's a beautiful pattern. I love the way it's turning out, and it will be worth it at the end. But I think just as you get used to stitching and get into stitching, you kind of just learn what you like and what you don't like, and until you try a new style. And I think I just don't love when I can't carry my thread to the next thing when it's changing a lot. I hate cutting and starting another one, and I hate having that thread hanging there parked. So yeah, I don't know. I think if I did a darker, because I don't stress about, I know it would be so much more economical, but I don't stress about carrying my thread. I will carry it across Timbuktu to not have to cut it and start it again. But if I had done a darker fabric, I could do that with this, and maybe I would enjoy it more because the pattern itself is beautiful. But anyway, I am excited that I'm getting closer to finished, as I want to get the baby's details in there and send it. But yeah, so that's one of my whips. And then the other whip I have is my, I think it's Autumn Glows by Little Dove Designs. So I've shown you this many a time. I showed you this last time, and I'm gonna get it focused here. So I got this done right here. I don't have the printout of the picture to actually remember what that is. I think that's a mushroom start. But I also got some more of the leaves finished, and I got the like apples filled out because I had started them, but I hadn't got like the twiggies and the greenery on them and stuff. And then I also did, where are we at? The edging around the sun here, and there was one color of leaves I hadn't done yet, and then the white just looks like the color of this, but I hadn't done the white outlining yet on the house, so there's white outlining there and on the little pieces and stuff here, like the eaves or whatever. So I hadn't done that yet, so that is a bit more progress on that one. And I am definitely a seasonal stitcher on, okay, hopefully this is the last one that I need to restart. My card filled up, so I went back and deleted that old floss tube I had filmed half of back at the beginning of December. Should be room now. So this one will get tucked away, as it didn't get as much love on it as I wanted to this fall, just because there's a lot going on, but it will be fun to pull it out next fall. I think it's probably ambitious to say that I'll finish it next fall. So this one might be a 4 fall. Excuse me. Like, I might have to put 4 falls into it because I'm 2 falls in so far and it's not done. It's maybe halfway now. Anyway, it's still a fun one to stitch. It's fun to see the progress of it as it comes along. So the last whip I have is a new start, but it's, you know, when you get to that point where you've stitched on it long enough that it's not really a new start anymore. It's like a whip. So I am, this is a first for me. I am putting all of my floss for this one on floss drops. So I am very, very excited to show you guys. These are my prototype. I am holding them a little bit and getting them a little more neat and tidy, I guess. I am going to be putting floss drops in my Etsy shop in the new year. Not the first week of January, but hopefully after that. I have 2 kinds that I'm going to be putting up, and one is going to be recycled from cards. Most of my cards that I have, I've got Christmas, so I'm not decided yet. So if you have an opinion on it, if you have an idea about it, let me know. I would love to hear. Because most of my recycled cards are from Christmas cards, because I'm not been finding many other greeting cards, because I've gotten these free from people who save their old Christmas cards and then don't want them anymore. So if I put Christmas cards up, should I wait, like floss drops, should I wait until October, November, December, like the Christmas season or getting ready for the Christmas season, to put them in my Etsy shop, or do we want them in my shop year round? So if you have a thought on it, let me know. Should I bother with Christmas themed ones all year, so if people want to buy them in February, they can. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. Anyway, and then the other ones are printed, like I've designed through Canada, and then printed and laminated them. I find the Christmas cards that are recycled are a fair bit good thickness, but just printing I wanted a little bit more durability. I also wanted them to be reusable. So if they're laminated, you can just write on them with Sharpie, and then you can go back and you can literally lick your finger and kind of scratch at it, or you could take like a little cloth or whatever and get it off. Yeah, it takes a little bit of scratching. Like, I just told you that, and I better make sure it's actually accurate. I had tried on one that was more wet. Yeah, so it takes a little bit of work, but you can definitely wipe it off. I am not a good saleswoman. Anyway, so you can reuse them. So I will show a few of them to you just for funsies. None of these are in my shop yet, but this will be a Christmas one that I'm not sure whether or not I will put up before Christmas of next year. But you can let me know, like I said, your thoughts. So this is a little gingerbread house one that I designed through Canva. So I've designed this one to have the bigger hole to the side because I didn't want to destroy the front door. So for your skein of floss, and then your working thread, I don't have a working thread on this color yet, but your working thread can go here. So I cut it with Justin's craft scissors that have like a curvy edge. I thought that would kind of just give it a little bit more whimsical look, and then it's laminated, and I just hand cut each of them after I laminate them, so I just kind of curve. So the thing about it is, like, they're not perfect. Like, I try to hold them in the same spot to get the punches in the same place, but you know, like, they're handmade, so they're all unique and different, but I'm really liking how durable they are. So the paper doesn't get all crushed up since they're laminated. So yeah, so this is like, it's so fun what you can do. Like, if you have a gift tag punch, you could totally just make these yourself. But like, this is an old Christmas card, like the vintage one, and I laminated it and it just popped. So yeah, these are a couple that I've been doing. So I've been working on designing some of my own. This one is really near and dear to my heart. This is like a digital wallpaper I designed. That is all the logo for Down syndrome awareness. So like National Down Syndrome Society uses yellow and blue as their two colors, and then there's different symbols kind of around the world. I don't know that all countries use the same symbols, but I think they're kind of universal, most of them. Just see that focus here. So I kind of made like a wallpaper of it and then punched a bunch of these out. So our son has Down syndrome. So that's the inspiration behind this one. So that one will be going up in the shop in January. And then this one I'm super tickled about is all cross stitch themed, using cross stitch images I found through Canva. Same thing. So each one, because the motifs are different all over the wallpaper, each one is a little bit different of which part of the cross stitch supplies you'll get on your floss shop. So these are ones that I made that weren't perfect. There were little mistakes here and there in them. So that's why they're on my floss ring a little bit disorganized, and the different ones, they're not all themed. But I just wanted to kind of test out, did I enjoy using floss drops myself? And did I enjoy the lamination? Did it work well? So I'm very pleased with it. My battery is blinking and telling me I am almost out. I did not get to show you basically any of my haul. I have an entire bucket of haul here, most of which is gifted or thrifted. Some of it gifted from thrifting. So I will maybe do a little bonus floss tube at some point for you when my battery is not about to kick over on me. But I hope that you have had a beautiful year of stitching. I hope that 2025 is an awesome year for you, not just in your stitching life, but especially in your stitching life. I have lots of things I would love to share with you, but did not prepare for today, that I've been learning and growing in, and so maybe I'll make that a goal for January when I share next. Really hoping to be back sooner than 3 months, but we'll see what 2025 brings. You never know. But I hope that you have enjoyed a little bit of time here with me today. I'm excited to talk with you in the comments and over on Instagram. I will link below everything I mentioned as best as I can remember. I'll link my Etsy shop, all that kind of stuff. And I'll include a little update here at the end, a little video footage from a couple of highlights from this season that I've had in between my last videos. Especially there's some Christmas lights I think you might enjoy seeing. But happy stitching, and I will see you next time. Bye, friends.